Okay, so today I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate what we will be doing for week 17 Morisot. So most of Morisot's paintings were of everyday objects, everyday people, a lot of women and children. She was an impressionist, and what they want us to express mostly in this week is the style of impasto by using a thicker paint object. So what we're going to do is we are going to do her painting of the blue vase because I think all levels will be able to do it, and some will be able to do a little bit more advanced than others. So effectively, this painting today is going to have about 3 different stages. The first thing that we're going to do is I provided you with a black outline of the painting. And what we are going to do is we are going to give it a really good, and we can reuse these with each class. There's no reason that we can't reuse them. We just want to make sure we do it, hold it up to the light to kind of see that we got all of it, all the way through, all the way around. And then we're going to put it on top of our cardboard here that we have, and holding it down, and this is where we might need to help some of the younger classes. We are going to trace the black lines on the painting onto our cardboard. I can pre-do these for at least the youngest class. If you want me to do both the abecedarians and the apprentices, I'd be happy to. Please text me and let me know. But I think all of the other kids will be capable of doing this. It only takes a few minutes, and I think it's good to have them trace and practice that. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect because they're going to be painting over it. It's just giving us a rough outline to paint in. I wanted to do this one all the way through with you guys so you could get a better idea. And we don't really need these because this is just the white parts, but I'm going to go ahead and trace those. So once they have finished with the tracing, we are done with that paper and we are done with pencils, and they will have a very nice light outline of the blue vase painting to go ahead and then start painting. So the first stage of painting that we're going to do is we are going to be using straight tempera paint without any thickening agent in it. So we will have one set of paper plates that we'll use, or paint wells, either way, to use to do our background. And we're just going to do the background first. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to come back and do the vase later, and I'll explain why when we get to that point. So have them look at the background, see how it's kind of blurry. We are going to, let me see if we can see both. Okay, sorry, it's probably sideways for you guys. Okay, so we're going to do white. And remember to express to them how impressionist paintings are not perfect lines, they're not perfect brush strokes. You know, we're noticing the areas of light and dark. And it doesn't matter if they go on top of their flowers, because we're going to come back over those later. I just want to kind of give a nice, and I'm doing white as well as blue, so that they blend better. If you were to just do blue and not add white, it would be really, here, I'll show you. It'd be really kind of rough. You want to have white to kind of swirl them together like Morisot has in her background here. And for this, they can use a brush. I would suggest giving them bigger brushes for this to just kind of let them kind of quickly do that background. Okay, and I can always go in. Well, I would say, no, don't let them fill them in later. Once they're done with the background, we're going to switch from brushes. So have them do their whole background how they want it. Doesn't have to be all the way. Okay, blue and white for the background. There's a little bit of brown in there. If they wanted to around the edges, they can add in for some dimension, but again, they don't need to spend a whole lot of time on the background. It needs to mostly be on the rest of it. Here, let's do just a little bit. Okay, so for the table, it's mostly brown. And you can see there's some darker areas and there's a flower. We'll come back and we'll do the flower later. But you can see there's just a few darker areas, and again, just the idea of shadows and light. All of the classes are really picking up on that idea of impressionism. I've seen their paintings have been really beautiful. They've done a really good job. Okay, so once they are done with the background, let's go ahead and fill this in. Here, missed that spot. Okay, once they're done with this is where we're going to kind of switch gears. So now we are done with, oh, sorry, you couldn't really see the bottom. Now we are done with brushes and straight tempera paint. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually completely switch, and we're going to take paintbrushes away, and we are going to, I didn't even need to rinse before that. So next what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the impasto style and using the thickening agent. So I'm going to have paper cups, and each of the colors is going to already be mixed in the paper cup, and we will just scrape that onto a different plate for them. So the first round of painting should really just need brown, black, blue, and white. And then for the second round, primarily we're going to need blue and white and brown. I didn't end up mixing any brown, but you can see, and then I have for the flowers, I have some yellow and some white. Actually, I'll go ahead and add some thickening to this brown here so that I have some brown. Okay, so then we are going to not use paintbrushes, please, for this stage, because it'll be really hard to wash out. We're just gonna end up tossing everything. So we are going to use Q-tips, and we want them to see how the paint being thicker really stands up off the page. So what we're going to do now is we are going to use our Q-tips as paintbrushes. And you'll notice the Q-tips aren't going to be perfect, and they might, start falling apart. Let them get a new Q-tip, no big deal. They probably don't want to mix their paints with their Q-tips unless they're doing like their face area and stuff, but have them notice that there's areas that stand up and don't want to lay flat, and that's perfect. They can make them swirly, they can make them chunky, however they want to do it. Let them play with it a little bit. This is going to be a fun one for them. They're going to really enjoy doing it. So, and it's not going to be perfect. That's the point. Okay, I'm going to get a new one. Okay, so there's the body of our vase. And let's do a few of these flowers. So this main flower is mostly yellow, but they can do it whatever color they want to do it. And I would encourage them to leave it chunky, but just as a logistical side, if they're too chunky, they may not dry. I'm going to bring a blow dryer or two so that we can hopefully prevent it from taking like the entire day to dry, but we'll see. It is fine. I would rather them be creative and then me get creative with a way to bring them home if I have to. So let them leave areas raised and lower and swirly, and it'll be fun to kind of see how their little paintings turn out. And have them mix if they want to. They can mix it right on their palette like that. It's kind of fun. It's a little bit more right here. Let's see, I'm out of white, so we're just going to do another red flower instead of getting more. Not very used to videoing myself painting, so I don't really know what to talk to you guys about because I'm standing in here by myself. Let's see. So, and I didn't mix up a green, so we'll skip that part. So, to just give you an idea, this is more or less what they'll kind of end up looking like is, and we'll have green there that day, I just didn't mix up any for me for just a few petals. This is pretty much what we'll end up with, is some raised areas. The background doesn't really work to do with the thickening paint. It just gets kind of too messy and chunky, and I also think then you lose the idea of it being nice and blurred as a background. So this kind of helps keep it, you know, all kind of helps keep the focus on the flowers, and it also is really hard to do the flowers on top of the background already with the chunky paint. So, okay, that is pretty much it. So not perfect by any means, not supposed to be, but if you can see, it has these nice raised parts that make it kind of fun. And yeah, so that is going to be our Morisot blue vase. And I think they'll have a lot of fun.